Welcome back to another recipe. Today I'm just making a really simple dill sauce which you can pair with salmon or any fish that you prefer. It's really nice and creamy. So we're just going to start by making a roux by melting some nice butter in a pan. I'm using salted. You can do this on a medium heat just until it melts. Next we're going to add some flour. I usually use the ratio of half the flour to the amount of butter, but I'm making quite a thick dill sauce this time. So I'm using a heaped teaspoon and just mix it into that butter. And your aim is to cook the flour and the butter out. Just cook that rawness out of the flour until it's changed to a really nice sort of nutty brown. Just make sure you're constantly mixing because you don't want it to thicken and become lumpy. So by this point it's at a colour that looks pretty good to me. It's a nutty sort of brown and we're ready to add the milk. If you add cold milk quickly to a hot pan, it won't curdle, it won't form lumps. So add it quickly and mix quickly. Being careful not to splash. And enough. Make sure you whisk gently, but quickly. Get all those lumps out. They'll melt out anyway. What you could do if you feel a bit scared about adding cold milk in such a big amount like that, if you're scared about the lumps, add it little at a time, whisk a little bit more, whisk, and so on. So we're going to add some salt and pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon, mix that in. Some salt. If it looks like it's getting too thick, just add a splash of milk. If it looks like it's a bit too runny still, let it cook a little longer, it will eventually thicken. Or just make a little more roux. I added a splash of milk just to loosen it up slightly. You could add a pinch of nutmeg just to bring out this flavour of that sauce. I don't have any on hand, so I'm not going to bother. And go in with a small handful of fresh chopped dill. And just sprinkle that in and mix it into your sauce. Really carefully mix it in. You can see how bright and vibrant that looks. And you're going to let that dill cook out for about 2 minutes and then it's done. It's so simple, so easy and really tasty. And on a low heat because you don't want the sauce to thicken too much anymore. So the sauce has been cooking for a couple of minutes. Make sure you give it a final taste for seasoning. Make sure the salt and pepper is just right in there. If you think it needs a little more dill, add a little more in. It's entirely up to you. So the dill sauce is complete. As you can see, I've made mine really nice and thick. That's because I'm going to be using it, well, you'll see why in my next recipe actually. I won't tell you yet, so stay tuned. And remember, in time, as it cools, it will continue to thicken. Mine already is starting to thicken just in those few seconds. So, as you can see, it was a really simple, really easy, really quick recipe and it tastes really nice. And I hope you try it out. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, click that notification bell, and thank you.